Brothers and sisters, it's again another scary moment. Very, very scary moment. Some of us went through this deadly journey. You remember during the times of the pandemic when COVID-19 hit the entire world and how the world was brought to a standstill. You know, the economies of the world were brought to their knees, and some of those economies are still recovering up to date. And I think even some of the countries, like my country, Kenya, was actually affected to an extent that even up to this time, our governments are affected, economy is affected. At times, the citizens don't understand. They may not know what the government is really dealing with. But the ripple effects of COVID-19 are still catching up with us till today. And I heard of a friend who was asking me a question, which was just a by the way, and he was saying, how come that only when President Trump becomes the president, that is when you hear of all these pandemics? But when other presidents are in, you never hear of any. But when Trump comes into picture, then you hear of an outbreak. A pandemic has to happen simply because, you know, President Trump is in picture. I actually don't know what you think. I don't know what you think, but these are some of the analysis that some of my wonderful brothers and sisters are trying to analyze. Is there a way that Trump is being fought politically? Is there a way that Trump could be he's not pro these people, and that's why they're doing all they can to ensure that they subject him, into such like challenges. Now, this virus that was announced by the CNN, it's called the Hunter virus, that was discovered in one of the vessels. And it is known to be a very deadly disease that most of the countries worldwide are now taking precautions on what exactly is happening. Let's just listen to what they have to tell us here.
3 people are dead and at least 3 others are sick after a suspected outbreak of what's called hantavirus aboard a cruise ship. Now, the vessel is currently anchored off the coast of Africa with nearly 150 people on board while health officials try to figure out next steps. Here's CNN's Larry Madoa.
A suspected outbreak of hantavirus on board this cruise ship crossing the Atlantic Ocean. The MV Hondius, operated by Oceanwide Expeditions, departed Ushuaia on the southern tip of Argentina over a month ago. Details of the suspected outbreak emerged as it was anchored in Praia, the capital of Cape Verde, an island nation off the coast of West Africa, on Sunday. One American travel blogger on board issuing this tearful message.
We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
Cape Verdean authorities have refused to allow anyone to disembark. However, local health authorities visited the ship and assessed 2 symptomatic crew members requiring urgent medical care, Oceanwide Expeditions said in a statement. There are 17 Americans among the 149 people on board, according to Oceanwide. The company told CNN it is, quote, currently focused on the health and safety of passengers and crew. Humans most commonly get infected with hantavirus through contact with rodents like mice or rats, especially their urine, droppings, and saliva, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Early symptoms include fatigue, fever, and muscle aches, as well as headaches, dizziness, chills, and abdominal problems. Human-to-human transmission is rare, the World Health Organization says.
To have this many people clustered together on a ship, most public health officials would be looking for human-to-human transmission, and I'm sure this is going to be investigated tremendously, but that would be where the arrows are pointing right now.
So far, it's not clear how the suspected infections on the ship occurred. The first death on board this ship happened April 11. The body of a 70-year-old Dutch man was taken to the island of St. Helena, a remote island in the South Atlantic, according to South Africa's Department of Health. His wife later collapsed at an airport while trying to fly home and died in hospital. At this time, it is not confirmed that these two deaths are connected to the current medical situation on board, the operator said. The World Health Organization says it is facilitating between member states and the ship's operators on a full public health risk assessment, but added, quote, "The risks to the wider public remains low. There is no need for panic or travel restrictions." Larry Medowo, CNN.
So that is what it is. The hantavirus outbreak, it is out there. So wherever you are, make sure you're safe. Avoid crowded places and control these rodents. Use some pesticides. They are called pesticides or insecticides. Yeah, make sure you deal with those rodents. I know there are people who are so fond of them, they keep them as souvenirs or pets, but they are very deadly. They are actually the transmitters of Hunter's virus. So be very careful where you are, and may the Lord keep you safe also. So these are some of the things that are happening in the world. Remember, we are told that sicknesses, outbreaks will actually come in these last days, and this is what we are seeing. Even though the authorities are saying they've gotten everything under control, but I can see countries are really taking measurements to ensure this thing is fully taken care of. Like in Kenya here, I can see the government is so alert, very, very much alert. So be very careful wherever you are. We want you to be peaceful, be safe, because it is sad when people are sick in a nation. Because some of the countries are still recovering from the ripples of COVID-19. And when something like this happens again, it makes other citizens, panic. So we are praying for peace, and we are praying for safety. We are praying for safety. I hope you will be safe wherever you are. Thank you very much. God bless you. And please be safe. Thank you.